right, let's dive into something that might just kind of shift how you see things, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to tackle how our minds and reality connect.
Oh, yeah.
Not like just good vibes and all that, but going deep with this piece we found.
Right.
It really digs into how our minds actually shape what we experience. Ready to get a little mind bending.
Absolutely. What I think is so interesting about this piece, it really makes you look at that idea that there's just like one reality.
Yeah.
And we're all experiencing it the same way.
Like we're all just watching the same movie.
Yeah.
But what if it's more like we each have our own pair of glasses on?
Exactly.
And those glasses totally change how that movie looks.
That's a great way to put it.
This source uses an example. It's about two people, right? They're looking at the same scene.
Okay.
But they see it completely differently. Like because of their own past stuff, their beliefs. It's like they're in two different realities, even though they're standing right next to each other.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder, what are you filtering out or adding in? Without even realizing it, the source, it points out how our senses are just bombarded with information constantly.
Right.
Sights, sounds, smells, you name it.
Yeah.
But it's our brains, right? Our brains make sense of it all.
Totally.
That's how we get our own model of the world.
So, okay, our brains are like these master chefs.
Okay.
Picking all these raw ingredients from our senses and making like this unique dish that is our reality.
Wow.
But the source goes deeper, right? It's saying we're not just filtering reality, but like actively shaping it with our thoughts.
Absolutely.
Our beliefs. Whoa.
Right. And that's where it starts to get a little intimidating.
Yeah, it is a powerful concept, but it does give some real world examples, right? Like, what about the placebo effect?
Oh, the placebo effect.
People actually have physical changes, real changes.
Yes.
Just because they think they're getting some powerful medicine, even if it's a sugar pill, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's the mind directly influencing the body.
Wow, yeah.
That's what that is.
It kind of makes me want to watch what I'm thinking all day.
Right.
If my thoughts can do that to my body, what else are they doing? And this is where things get really trippy. Quantum physics?
Yeah, this is where things get really mind-bending.
Yeah.
The source, it explains how at the subatomic level, you've got these particles.
Oh.
They can exist in multiple states all at once.
Right.
But then when they're observed, it's like that act of observation, which involves consciousness, that makes those possibilities collapse into one outcome.
Okay, so are we saying our minds are like these tiny reality-bending machines?
Okay, hold on.
Can I just think my way to winning the lottery now?
Not quite that simple. The source makes it clear quantum physics doesn't mean we have, like, godlike control.
Right.
It's more subtle. It's like, think of it this way.
Okay.
There's this framework of shared reality, right?
Yeah.
Like, gravity exists, but within that framework, there's room for variation, based on our consciousness.
So we're not rewriting the laws of physics.
No.
But we might have more influence over our own experience.
Yes, within those laws.
Than we realize. I like that. I can get on board with that.
I think that's a good way to understand it.
But let's get practical, right? Because the source talks about techniques, things we can do to use this mind-reality link.
Exactly.
So where do we even start?
Well, one of the most basic things the source talks about is mindfulness.
Okay, mindfulness.
Now, before you start picturing, meditating on a mountaintop,
yeah,
mindfulness is really just about paying attention to your thoughts.
Okay.
Noticing the patterns, noticing the stories your mind is telling you.
It's like taking inventory of your mental toolbox.
That's a great way to put it.
Seeing which tools are helping you build the reality you want and which ones might need an upgrade.
Exactly. And once you have that awareness, you can start to use another powerful tool, reframing.
Reframing.
The source gives this great example.
Yeah.
Shifting from, I can't handle this, to this is a growth opportunity, right?
Right.
Consciously choosing a more empowering lens.
Yeah, that makes sense, but reframing can be tough.
It can.
What if you're in a situation that just feels overwhelming? How do you reframe that?
That's a great question, and the source addresses that.
Okay.
It's not about denying the difficulty. It's about looking for the potential for growth or for learning, even in the chaos.
That's a good way to look at it.
The source reminds us sometimes the most challenging experiences.
Yeah.
They offer the greatest opportunities.
I like that. And what about visualization? I've heard about it, but I don't know. Always been a bit skeptical.
Okay, the source actually has a lot to say about that.
Does it?
Yeah, it explains that visualization works because, well, our minds don't really distinguish that well between something we vividly imagine and something that's real. So by regularly visualizing your desired reality, you're kind of training your mind
to perceive and to create that reality.
So if I want to be a world-famous podcaster, I got to picture myself in front of this huge audience, hear the applause, feel the energy.
Exactly. Engage all your senses. Make it as real as possible. And the source emphasizes consistency, just like with physical exercise, right?
Okay.
The more you practice visualizing, the stronger those mental muscles get.
Okay, so we've got mindfulness for awareness, reframing to shift our perspective, and visualization to create that mental blueprint.
You got it.
Anything else we need in our reality-shaping toolkit?
Oh, one more. Affirmations.
Affirmations, right?
But here's the key.
Okay.
The affirmations have to be believable to you.
Got it.
Don't try to force yourself to believe something that feels, off.
Right.
Start small, keep it real, and as your belief grows, you can build up to bigger affirmations.
So it's not just repeating phrases. It's about, like, aligning our words with what we really want deep down.
That's it, exactly. Okay, this is making a lot of sense, but I do want to point out something the source emphasizes.
Okay.
This mind reality thing. It's not about magically making all our problems go away.
No.
Or pretending life is always going to be easy.
It's not about that.
We can't just think our way out of gravity, right?
Right, we can't pretend that serious illnesses don't exist.
Exactly. So there's this balance between knowing we can influence our experiences
Yes.
and accepting that we're part of something bigger that we don't completely control.
I think that's a good way to frame it.
Yeah, so it's about taking responsibility for our thoughts, for our actions.
Yes.
But also understanding we're not solely responsible for everything that happens.
That's a great point.
Right.
The source uses this analogy, tending a garden, right?
Okay.
You can't make a plant grow by pulling on it.
You got to give it the right conditions, good soil, water, sunlight.
Exactly.
And then trust it.
And trust the process.
So with our minds, it's about cultivating that right mental environment. The positive thoughts, the empowering beliefs.
And letting things unfold.
And then letting our reality, the one we want, unfold naturally.
Beautifully said.
I like that. That's a nice way to think about it. But we got to talk about emotions, right? Because the source talks about how our feelings are tied up with our thoughts.
Absolutely. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about feeling positive emotions, too.
Yeah. So joy, love, gratitude, those kinds of things.
They open us up to new possibilities.
Okay, so it's not about being happy 24/7 because that's not realistic for anyone.
Of course not. The source emphasizes understanding your emotions, the positive and the challenging ones.
Right.
And seeing how they impact us, what we do.
That makes sense. And I know the source specifically mentions gratitude.
Yes.
What's so special about gratitude?
Gratitude is powerful because it shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have.
Okay.
Even in tough times, finding something to be grateful for can open us up.
Interesting.
It helps create a more positive state,
Yeah.
Which in turn influences reality in a positive way.
This is so empowering.
Yeah.
But got to bring up something else the source mentions. Ethics.
Oh, yeah.
If our minds affect reality and we share that reality with others,
right?
That comes with responsibility, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. The source reminds us our thoughts and beliefs, they're not just personal. They contribute to the reality we all experience.
It's like we're all contributing to this massive shared movie.
It makes you think, right?
Big time.
If everyone believed their thoughts shaped the world, would we act differently?
Whoa, that's a big question. It makes you think about the responsibility that comes with knowing this stuff.
It really does.
It's not just about shaping our own reality, but contributing to one that benefits everyone.
That's a good point. And the source, it encourages us
to
cultivate thoughts, beliefs that benefit the whole, not just ourselves.
It's like we're all in this together.
Exactly. Recognizing how interconnected we are, understanding that what we do, it has ripple effects.
This is heavy stuff, but fascinating.
It is.
We've covered a lot. I bet you're buzzing with thoughts right now. So before we get into the next part of this deep dive, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
What's standing out to you? What's resonating with your own experience of reality? Share your thoughts. We'll be back to explore even more of this mind-blowing topic.
Looking forward to it. Welcome back to our deep dive. It's been awesome seeing all your comments.
Yeah, so many of you are really into this. It's cool.
We left off talking about, the responsibility we have. Once we understand how our minds actually shape the world around us, the reality we all share.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff.
And this source, it takes that idea even further.
Oh, how so?
It gets into consciousness itself, like what if our minds aren't just shaping our own little realities, but the whole universe?
Wait, hold on. Is it saying we're like mini gods or something?
Mhm.
Creating reality with our thoughts?
Not exactly. It's more nuanced than that. The source admits we still don't get consciousness completely.
Right, it's a mystery.
Huge mystery. But the idea it puts forward is that consciousness isn't just a side effect of the physical world. It's like baked into the fabric of reality.
So it's not that my thoughts are like magically moving stuff around,
No, not like telekinesis or anything.
but more that consciousness itself is part of how reality works.
You got it. And if we think about that for a minute, it opens up some wild possibilities.
Okay, like what?
The source talks about how our individual consciousnesses, they might be linked in ways we don't even grasp yet.
Like we're all part of one giant mind. I've heard of that, but it always seemed kind of out there.
It does sound kind of out there. The source doesn't give specific theories about how that connection would work, but it gives you a lot to think about. Like,
Mhm.
what if things like collective consciousness, intuition, even those psychic abilities people talk about,
Yeah.
what if those are glimpses into this deeper connection?
So that feeling you get where you just know something, but can't explain why. Maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it's us tapping into something bigger.
Exactly. The source wants us to be open to those possibilities, to push the boundaries of what we think we know about consciousness.
This is getting deep, but gotta ask, how does this apply to my everyday life? If we're all connected, am I responsible for everything that happens in the world?
That's a natural question, and the source addresses it directly.
Okay.
It says, knowing we're connected doesn't mean we have to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders.
That's a relief.
It's more about understanding that everything we do, even our thoughts, they create ripples in this collective consciousness.
So it's not about blaming myself for every bad thing that happens.
No, it's more about realizing we all have a role to play in making a better reality.
Okay, I can get behind that.
And the source connects this to personal growth, spiritual practices. It's like the work we do on ourselves, becoming kinder, more forgiving. It's
Yeah.
not just about feeling good. It's about helping consciousness itself evolve.
So my journey of self-discovery is part of something much bigger.
Like a thread in a giant tapestry. And the source points out this doesn't have to be some huge, complicated thing.
Yeah, what can we actually do?
Even small acts of kindness, being mindful, choosing a more positive thought when you're down, those all have an impact.
That's pretty empowering. Makes you realize we all have the power to make a difference.
We do. The source encourages us to focus on practices that bring inner peace,
Okay.
harmony, love. Those aren't just nice feelings. They're
Yeah.
powerful forces that can literally change things.
So it's not just about me feeling good. It's about sending those good vibes out, affecting the world.
You got it. The source even gives specific things to try. Meditation, being mindful, helping others, spending time in nature, connecting with people you love.
All good stuff.
It's all about nourishing your inner world so that positivity can flow outward.
It's like our inner world and the outer world, they're linked.
Exactly. Taking care of ourselves is part of taking care of the whole.
Beautifully said. But the source makes it clear, this isn't about being perfect or pretending the world's all sunshine and rainbows.
Right. It acknowledges the tough stuff.
It's about accepting it all, the good and the bad, and choosing to respond with love, compassion, and awareness.
Exactly. We're all works in progress.
We are, and even when things are messy, we can still choose to be a force for good.
That's the key takeaway. This is a journey, not a destination.
No finish line.
No finish line. It's about constantly growing, expanding our consciousness, getting more connected to everything around us.
This is so inspiring. We've covered so much. What are you thinking right now? What's really hitting home for you? Share your thoughts. We'll be back to explore the last part of this amazing journey into the mind-reality connection. All right, welcome back to the last part of our deep dive. This mind-reality connection is wild.
It is. We've been on quite a journey.
We have, from how our brains work to quantum physics.
And even the idea that we might all be connected.
Yeah, consciousness as this big web. And you guys, your comments have been amazing.
So insightful. It's clear this is resonating with a lot of you.
It is. So now let's bring it all home.
Yeah, let's make it practical.
What does this all mean for you, for your life, for the world we're building together?
That's the key, isn't it? And the source gives us some good news here.
Oh.
It reminds us that even though these ideas can seem complicated,
Right, they're kind of mind-bending.
the things we can actually do are often pretty simple.
Phew. That's a relief. I was starting to feel a bit overwhelmed. Like, do I need to become a monk or something?
Not at all. It's more about those little choices we make every day.
Okay, the small stuff.
Choices that line up with the reality we want to create.
It's like we've been driving through life on autopilot.
Ooh, I like that.
And now we're realizing, hey, we can actually grab the wheel and steer towards where we want to go.
You're in control. The source encourages us to become more conscious drivers, paying attention to the thoughts that are guiding us.
And course correcting when we need to, right?
Exactly. Asking ourselves, are these thoughts helpful? Are they taking me where I want to go?
Love that. And if they're not, what can we do?
Yeah.
I know the source gives us some tools, right?
It does. One of the most powerful is reframing.
Reframing. Yeah, we talked about it before.
Worth repeating, though. Anytime you catch yourself thinking something negative,
Oh,
hit that pause button.
okay, pause.
Ask yourself, is there another way to look at this? What would a more empowering thought be?
So it's like flipping the script, turning those challenges into opportunities.
Exactly, and replacing self-doubt with self-belief.
The source also talks about visualization.
Oh, yes, visualization, so powerful.
It is. Why does it work so well?
It lets us tap into that amazing creative power our minds have. By really picturing our dream reality, feeling it, we send a strong message to our subconscious.
Like we're programming it almost.
You got it, we're telling it. This is what we're creating.
It's like planting those seeds of our dreams in our imagination.
I love that, nurturing them with good vibes, with focus.
And then watching them bloom into reality.
Beautifully put, but the source is clear. This takes time.
It does. Nothing happens overnight.
Like a garden, our dreams need time to grow. It's not about forcing things, it's about creating the right conditions.
So tending to our mental and emotional garden, so to speak.
Exactly. That's where the magic happens.
It makes you realize we have way more control over our lives than we think.
We do, but it's not just about our own little bubble, right?
Right. The source says it's bigger than that.
It is. It wants us to think about how our thoughts and actions impact the world around us.
So it's not just about me having a great life. It's about making the world better for everyone.
That's the idea, recognizing that we're all connected.
Like those ripples in a pond.
Each of our realities is a thread in this huge tapestry of consciousness.
Wow. So we're all co-creating reality together.
We are, and each of us has the power to make a difference.
That's a good feeling.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a question from the source.
Ooh, a final thought to ponder.
It really challenges us to step up and own the power we have.
Okay, hit us with it.
If you truly believed your mind was shaping your reality, what one thought or belief would you change today?
Wow, that is powerful. It's like an invitation to look inward, to really examine those thoughts, those beliefs.
And choose the ones that match the reality we want, both for ourselves and for the world.
This whole deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope it's made you feel empowered, full of possibility.
Remember, your mind is a powerful tool,
It is.
and the reality you experience is a reflection of what you choose to think and believe.
So choose wisely, my friends. Choose wisely.
And watch how your world transforms.
Such a good reminder. This is a journey. There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to create.
We're all in this together.
Shaping reality with every thought, every action.
Every choice.
So go out there and make your mark.
We'll see you on our next deep dive.